Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 206 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
Here's what's coming up in today's show. This week's Y-Files looks at a recent truck crash involving 21 Rhesus macaques used in university research.
In our Noteworthy segment, we have an update and possibly some hope for the 30 beluga whales held at Marineland, Ontario.
And in our main topic, what will the import of beef from Argentina mean for the U.S. animal agriculture industry?
But before we get into all of that, we first want to send our deepest condolences to our dear friend Natina, owner of Buffalo V-Spot vegan restaurant, on the recent and sudden passing of her son, Pharaoh. He leaves behind a loving wife and 4 beautiful children. And our hearts go out to her and her family.
We'll link to a GoFundMe that was started to help his family. We'll link to that in the show notes. So if you would care to give, or if you can give to Pharaoh's GoFundMe, please check the link in the show notes.
And Natina and all of Pharaoh's family, we are so deeply sorry for your loss.
Yeah, our heartfelt condolences, for sure.
Yes, indeed.
Well, we hope everybody had a great vegan day, World Vegan Day.
Yes. So yeah, if you were unaware, probably one of your favorite holidays of the year, Halloween, is immediately followed by World Vegan Day.
It is.
Yeah. So let us know if you did anything to celebrate World Vegan Day. We did not have any specific celebrations.
We were vegan all day long.
We were vegan all day long. And we went to see a show.
We did.
Yes, we went to see
the Lightning Thief.
The Lightning Thief,
yeah.
Yes, at SUNY Fredonia. It was a great production, and I have to say, I am just always kind of blown away by the level of talent that my students have.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I only see them in one context most of the time.
Right.
I only see them in dance classes.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I see them on stage singing, and
they're
it's like,
singing, they're acting, they're dancing, not to mention the kids that work in the technical fields.
Oh my gosh.
The lighting and the technical aspects of this show were incredible.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, really amazing. So
great show.
Just congratulations to all of them and to all of my colleagues who were a big part of this show. Really just amazing work, per usual.
Yeah. So what else have we been up to? So Halloween, I was supposed to go to my nephew's. He was having a Halloween party, but I wasn't feeling so good. So I didn't go. And Sam was on her way back on a train.
Oh, well, not on Halloween. The day before
Thursday.
Halloween, I was on my way home from a brief trip to New York. I went out for a recruitment event.
Yeah.
So I took the train on Wednesday morning that got me into New York on Wednesday evening and did the event on Thursday morning and then came back Thursday afternoon into the late or early hours of Friday morning.
Yeah. So no Halloween shenanigans really for
No,
us.
not at all.
Yeah.
But I did want to mention a couple of things about my New York trip.
Yes, please do.
They are, of course, food related.
Of course.
So on Wednesday evening, when I got into New York, I got to my hotel and decided to DoorDash because it was kind of rainy and I was really tired from the train trip. And I just decided I wanted to settle in, get some work done, and have a nice meal.
Yeah.
So I DoorDashed from Ginger Root New Vegan. And let me tell you, this is the vegan Chinese takeout I've been looking for all my life.
Why is that?
Or at least as long as I've been vegan.
Yeah, why is that?
Okay, because number one, I got their sweet and sour chicken.
Okay.
Which is something that I always loved as an omnivore.
So was it a tofu-based or soy-based? What do you think it was?
I think it was a soy base.
Okay.
But it was so perfectly fried, not even remotely greasy. Mm-hmm. The texture was absolutely gorgeous.
So was it it was a breaded
It was
thing?
a breaded thing. Yep. So it definitely had that takeout Chinese feel to it. It was served over a bed of perfectly steamed broccoli.
Okay.
And green and red bell peppers and onions with a side of brown rice. And the sauce was on the side.
Nice.
So instead of the dish being absolutely drowned in sweet and sour sauce, which I've always found problematic in typical Chinese takeout, I got to just dip the chicken in the sauce.
Yeah.
And dip the broccoli in the sauce.
Good. And how was the sweet and sour sauce?
Oh, the sweet and sour sauce was fantastic.
That's
it had
good.
a little bit of a kick to it.
Yeah.
Not syrupy sweet, which I also find can be problematic sometimes with sweet and sour sauces.
Yeah.
Like there's just too much sweet and not enough sour. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But this was really, really well balanced. And I also got a pair of their spring rolls because I'm not good at passing up spring rolls.
No, they're so good.
They're so good. And these also were just perfect. They were fried to perfection. They were not at all greasy again. Like, so whatever they're doing for frying technique, oh gosh, is it working?
Right.
The texture of the vegetables inside was just phenomenal. And of course, shredded cabbage and mushrooms and edamame and just really, really phenomenal.
Sounds yummy. What was the place called again?
This was Ginger Root New Vegan.
Ginger Root New Vegan.
Yes, and it's on the east side of Manhattan. Absolutely fantastic. I also got a Thai iced tea, which was kind of a milk tea. So it was a creamy iced tea.
Right. Absolutely
fabulous.
Kind of like a Thai chai.
Yeah, almost. Not as spicy. It didn't have quite that chai flavor profile, but it was really, really delicious and very refreshing.
Nice.
And then the next morning, as I was walking from my hotel to the event site, I stumbled upon a Gregory's coffee, which I was delighted to stumble across because I had planned to do a bit of breakfast at a different location. But when I got there, the only thing they had that was vegan was a mini carrot cake. And it was incredibly overpriced. And I was just like, okay, no, I'm not doing this.
That's Manhattan for you.
It is Manhattan for you. Yeah. And so...
Yeah, you can always count on Gregory's Coffee if you're ever in New York City.
Yes, you can.
There's one on every other corner, pretty much.
Well, I don't know about that, but I did see two on my way to the event site, and that was about a 10 or 12 block walk.
Yeah.
So I stopped in at Gregory's Coffee and got their Vegan Deluxe, which is an absolutely gorgeous whole wheat vegan croissant.
Yeah.
And it is stuffed with just egg and a vegan sausage and some beautiful vegan cheddar cheese, a little bit of everything but the bagel seasoning. It is perfection.
Yeah, perfect little grab and go breakfast.
It really is.
Their coffee's really good there too.
Yes, and I got a cold brew. It was a cold brew coffee with oat milk, and the flavor profile was vanilla and cinnamon.
Nice.
It was absolutely gorgeous. Not quite as mind-blowing as the pistachio chocolate cold brew that I had at Nice Biscuit several weeks ago, but it was way up there. So I'm concerned that I'm starting to develop a fondness for cold brew coffee.
I wish I could have it. It just has there's the caffeine level in cold brew is so high. I can't do it.
Yeah, and normally like regular coffee caffeine tends to make me buzzy, but for some reason the cold brew coffee caffeine has not had that effect yet.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I'm getting curiouser and curiouser about cold brew coffee because it is just so delicious.
Yeah.
So that was absolutely amazing. And then I went to the event, and on my way out, because my train coming back to Buffalo was leaving pretty soon after the event finished, I stopped at Naya in the Moynihan food hall at Penn Station, and I got this beautiful, I mean beautiful bowl with greens and seasonal grains and roasted cauliflower and hummus and a vegan cabbage slaw and cucumbers and carrots and onions and all kinds of wonderful things. Kalamata olives with a little bit of a lemon tahini dressing.
Wow, it sounds good.
Oh, it was fantastic. It was served with a absolutely adorable little round fluffy pita. And I didn't eat it right away. I saved it. I put it in my lunch bag and saved it for, dinner on the train because my train was leaving at like 3:45, and that's just too early to eat dinner. And so I had it on the train on the way home, and it was just absolutely delightful. The flavors were incredible. Just so happy with all of the food that I had in New York. So I didn't go anywhere fancy. No. I was tempted. I was thinking, oh, well, maybe I'll go to Planta or maybe I'll go to Francia or something like that. But I just decided to keep it simple. And I'm really glad that I did because I had some very good food.
Sometimes, you can be surprised by just going to a simple place and
absolutely
getting something really good. And did you check out to see if Amtrak had any options?
I didn't.
On the dining
I didn't
car?
Look because I knew I didn't want to
bother.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Because
they're
so bad.
The last time that we were on the train to New York, the only thing they had was kind of like a vegan barbecue burger, and
they didn't have it.
And they didn't have it.
They
it
were
wasn't
out of
available,
it. Yeah.
right? And so. I had packed, not I had packed, but Christine had packed me a lovely lunch for my trip out to New York.
Yeah.
And that was great. So I had lunch and snacks with me. So I didn't feel the need to spend any money seeing if Amtrak had anything worth eating.
Yeah, that's just something to note. If you do take Amtrak, don't count on their vegan options on the train because A, they're not very good, and B,
we don't know if they're good. We haven't tried them.
Right.
So it's not fair to say they're not very good.
So A, they might not have any of them, and B, the only thing that we got the last time
the little crudité
was a pathetic little crudité.
Yeah, it was pretty sad, I'll admit.
With like a grape, two little sad-looking pieces of baby carrot, and a spoonful of hummus.
And a piece of cucumber.
Yeah. So, pack snacks.
Yeah, pack snacks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually one of the wonderful things about traveling by train.
Yeah.
Is that you can bring your lunch with you.
You can bring lunch. You can bring water. You don't have to take your shoes off.
No, it's really quite delightful.
It is a much less stressful travel experience.
Now, it is a long trip because, it's 9 hours by train from Buffalo to New York. And I realized on the way home, I was like, wow, I could have flown to London by now.
Right.
Like I can get to London in the same time that I can get to New York, just different mode of travel. So there's that.
Yeah,
so
we really need some high-speed rail in this country.
Oh gosh,
it's ridiculous.
We do. Yeah, it really is kind of crazy.
We are so far behind. And it's intentional. It's just to, not to go on a rant or anything, but it's to maintain the car culture in this country.
Yes, it is.
A lot of revenue is generated by the car culture in the United States, because you have to pay for your license, pay for your insurance, pay for your registration, get inspections. There's that's why there's a car culture.
Yep.
So,
but I have to say, I am very glad that I did not choose to drive to New York.
Yeah, it's too long.
It is. Well, I mean, I don't mind the long drive. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
I enjoy driving, so that would be fine in and of itself. But just getting off the train and knowing exactly where you need to go, like, okay, I just need to get the E train and I need to take it 4 stops up to, Lexington 53rd, and then it's a 5-block walk to my hotel, and like it's so simple, and not having to worry about where are you going to park the car, how much is it going to cost to park the car?
A fortune.
Exactly. And, like what's the best way in and out of Manhattan proper, and all of that. So to me, it's just much more stress-free to just take the train.
It is. It's more convenient if you have the time, Yeah. So 16 hours on a train for a 1 day.
A 3-hour event. That's right. 18 hours on a train for a 3-hour event.
That was insane.
It was a little insane.
All right, well, let's move along then.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's jump into this week's Why Files. So in this week's Why Files, this is coming to us from ABC News. Monkey escape gives a glimpse into the secretive world of animal research. So the recent escape of several research monkeys after the truck carrying them overturned on a Mississippi interstate is the latest glimpse into the secretive world of animal research. 3 monkeys have remained on the loose since the crash on Tuesday in a rural area along Interstate 59, spilling wooden crates labeled live monkeys into the tall grass near the highway. Since then, searchers in masks, face shields, and other protective equipment have scoured nearby fields and woods for the missing primates. 5 of the 21 Rhesus macaques on board were killed during the search, according to the local sheriff, but it was unclear how that happened. Mississippi authorities have not disclosed the driver's name, the company involved in transporting the monkeys, where the monkeys were headed to, or who owns them. While Tulane University in New Orleans has acknowledged that the monkeys had been housed in its National Biomedical Research Center in Covington, Louisiana, it said it doesn't own them and won't identify who does. The questions surrounding the Mississippi crash and the mystery of why the animals were traveling through the South are remarkable, animal advocates say. When a truck carrying 21 monkeys crashes on a public highway, the community has a right to know who owned those animals. Where were they being sent, and what diseases they may have been exposed to and harbored simply by being caught up in the primate experimentation industry, said Lisa Jones-Engel, Senior Science Advisor on Primate Experimentation with People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. It's highly unusual and deeply troubling that Tulane refuses to identify its partner in this shipment, Jones-Engel added. Transporting research animals typically requires legally binding contracts that prevent the parties involved from disclosing information, Tulane University said in a statement to the Associated Press. That's done for the safety of the animals and to protect proprietary information, the New Orleans-based university said. To the best of Tulane's knowledge, the 13 recovered animals remain in the possession of their owner and are en route to their original destination, the statement said. The crash has drawn a range of reactions, from conspiracy theories that suggest a government plot to sicken people to serious response from people who oppose experimenting on animals. How incredibly sad and wrong, Republican U.S. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene said of the crash. I've never met a taxpayer that wants their hard-earned dollars paying for animal abuse, nor who supports it, the Georgia congresswoman said in a post on the social platform X. This needs to end. Tulane's Covington Center received $35 million annually in National Institutes of Health support, and its partners include nearly 500 investigators from more than 155 institutions globally, the school said in an October 9th news release. The center has been funded by the NIH since 1964, and federal grants are a significant source of income for the institution, it said. In July, some of the research center's 350 employees held a ribbon-cutting ceremony to mark the opening of a new 10,000-square-foot office building and a new laboratory at the facility. This fall, the facility's name was changed from the Tulane National Primate Research Center to the Tulane National Biomedical Research Center to reflect its broader mission, university officials announced. The Mississippi crash is one of at least 3 major monkey escapes in the U.S. over the past 4 years. Last November, 43 Rhesus macaques escaped from a South Carolina compound that breeds them for medical research after an enclosure wasn't fully locked. Employees from the Alpha Genesis facility in Yemassee, South Carolina, set up traps to capture them. However, some spent months in that winter living in the woods and weathering a rare snowstorm. By late January, the last 4 escapees were recaptured after being lured back into captivity with peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. In January 2022, several cynomolgus macaque monkeys escaped when a truck towing a trailer of about 100 of the animals collided with a dump truck on a Pennsylvania highway, authorities said. The monkeys were headed to a quarantine facility in an undisclosed location after arriving at John F. Kennedy International Airport in New York on a flight from Mauritius, an Indian Ocean island nation, authorities said. A spokesperson for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said that all the animals were accounted for within a day, though 3 were euthanized for undisclosed reasons. So, first thing, I find it interesting that Marjorie Taylor Greene is all up in arms about monkey research. Okay.
Sure.
I don't know if she fell down and hit her head, but recently, or she's just worried about votes.
No. Remember a couple of weeks back, we were talking about the fact that the MAGA Republicans are starting to use
animal rights
as a platform to kind of lure slightly more lefty voters to their cause.
She's been saying a lot of things that I think she's been trying to lure left-leaning voters. But yeah, that's probably what it is. She's probably just towing the line there.
I would imagine.
We, of course, do not condone this practice of testing on animals.
No, of course not.
And especially when they're being transported with no transparency as to who owns them, what research they were involved in. Mm-hmm. It is very suspicious. And I don't blame people for coming up with, theories that, that they're transporting them to make people sick and all this other stuff.
I mean, I don't know if I would jump to that conclusion directly, but at the same time,
if they're not going to be transparent about it.
That's right. If they're not going to be forthcoming about what these poor animals were used for and, what they've been exposed to or what pathogens they might be carrying, it's pretty easy to jump to the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
And I would think that it just begs the question, okay, so you're not being transparent. What are you hiding?
Exactly. Why do you have to hide things if there's nothing terrible about what you're doing?
Right. If there's nothing untoward, what are we hiding here? Like, why would there be any reason not to tell people what was going on with these animals?
Yeah. I also find it interesting that Tulane has changed the name of their research facility from, what was it? I'm sorry, monkey.
Well, no. It was the Center for Primate Research.
Yeah, from the Center of Primate Research to
the Center of Biomedical Research.
Yeah, something that it completely takes away the visual of them testing on animals at all.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
but of course that probably does not mean that they have stopped testing on primates or any other animals.
No, absolutely not.
In fact, it could lead to the idea that, we're not only testing on primates, we are testing on other mammals as well.
Yeah, exactly. That was the idea that I got from that statement from Tulane, was that they changed the name so that it, all encompassed all the animals that they're testing on.
Yep.
I understand that there is medical research that is done on these animals to aid in the prevention and treatment of certain human-borne illnesses, but it's just there has to be a better way.
I agree. There has to.
There has to be. I mean, if you've seen any footage of testing on animals, it's horrific.
That's the perfect word.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is. It's a real horror show. So we definitely are not for any kind of animal testing.
No, of course not. But we would like to see universities and companies who are conducting these kinds of tests be more transparent about what is actually going on.
They need to be more transparent. And in situations like this, they need to be completely transparent about what kind of experiments these monkeys were involved in, if for no other reason than to assure people living in that area that they weren't in any sort of danger.
Yes.
So that's that. I feel bad for the monkeys involved. I'm sure.
Certainly.
I'm sure very few of them survived.
Yes.
Moving on to our noteworthy segment this week. It's some hopefully good news.
Hopefully. A whale sanctuary in Nova Scotia may offer hope for belugas at Marineland.
Yeah, you may remember when we were talking about the 30 belugas that Marineland was threatening to euthanize, that there was this sanctuary in Nova Scotia that wanted to take some of them in. And at that time, Marineland was saying that this sanctuary was not ready to accept animals.
Yes. Nova Scotia has approved Canada's first ever whale sanctuary, which offers a possible landing spot for many of the beluga whales at Marineland in Niagara Falls. A coastal cove in Nova Scotia will be transformed into a refuge, allowing the whales to swim in the ocean while still receiving the care they require after spending a lifetime in captivity. Marineland, which closed last year, has threatened to euthanize 30 belugas after the Canadian government rejected an offer to move them to China. The new sanctuary site, operated by the Whale Sanctuary Project, could be operational by the summer of 2026. The sanctuary finally offers a real path to freedom for many of Canada's last remaining captive whales. It's a dignified place where these intelligent, social animals will have a chance to live out their lives in peace, in the ocean, where they belong. With this sanctuary, Canada has an opportunity to demonstrate global leadership in compassionate, science-based care for whales retired from captivity, said Caitlin Mitchell, Director of Legal Advocacy at Animal Justice of Canada. It's not a full solution, however. Charles Vinnick, executive director of the Whale Sanctuary Project, told the Winnipeg Free Press the proposed enclosure could only hold up to 10 of Marineland's 30 belugas.
That is some hope.
It is.
And that is some hope, and I hope that they can move 10 of these adorable belugas into that sanctuary.
Yeah.
Because they deserve to live out their lives in peace.
Yes, they certainly do.
It's time for our main topic. I don't know if you heard about this, but our illustrious leader, and I say that in the most tongue-in-cheek way, has recently announced that he wants to import tons and tons of Argentinian beef, which is enraging U.S. cattle ranchers.
As you could imagine.
Yeah.
This is coming to us from MSN Network. Trump's beef war erupts as $20 billion Argentina deal riles up American ranchers. On October 19th, 2025, President Trump's announcement to quadruple Argentina's beef import quota at lower tariffs sent shockwaves through America's cattle industry. With U.S. beef prices at historic highs and the national herd at its lowest in 75 years, the move was pitched as a solution to rising grocery bills. Yet, as the dust settled, ranchers, retailers, and consumers found themselves navigating a rapidly shifting landscape, one with consequences reaching far beyond the meat counter. By mid-2025, U.S. beef prices had soared, with ground chuck averaging $6.33 per pound in October. The national cattle herd had dwindled to 94.2 million head, a level not seen since the 1950s. That's actually kind of great news.
That is great news.
I love that. The White House argued that boosting Argentine imports would ease pressure on American families, but industry groups like the U.S. Cattlemen's Association and National Cattlemen's Beef Association warned that short-term relief could undermine long-term stability. "We finally got prices that we can make some headway on," said Craig Bieber, vice president of the South Dakota Cattlemen's Association. "Now it's ludicrous. We're back to uncertainty." Ranchers who had weathered years of hardship felt blindsided, especially those who had supported Trump's earlier agricultural policies. Despite the influx of Argentine beef, retail prices remained stubbornly high. Analysts noted that while imports might lower prices paid to ranchers, grocery store costs for consumers showed little movement. The gap between wholesale import costs and retail pricing left families frustrated, as the promise of cheaper beef failed to materialize at the checkout. Fast food chains and major retailers began exploring imported beef to control costs, raising questions about transparency and the true origin of products. Consumers want to know their purchases support local ranchers, not just foreign imports, said Julie Federchek, a North Dakota Republican representative leading opposition to the policy. The uncertainty rippled through adjacent markets. As beef prices stayed elevated, Americans increasingly turned to chicken, pork, and plant-based proteins. Data from the Food Institute showed a marked shift in grocery store offerings, with alternative proteins gaining ground. This trend threatened beef's traditional dominance in American diets and signaled a broader transformation in consumer habits. Argentina's beef exports to the U.S. surged 15% year-to-date through October, reaching nearly 29,000 metric tons. Yet Argentina itself faced a shrinking cattle herd, battered by drought and economic crisis. To meet demand, Argentina imported over 6,200 tons of Brazilian beef in the first half of 2025, up from just 146 tons the previous year. This raised concerns about the true origin of Argentine beef entering U.S. markets and complicated efforts to ensure food safety and traceability. Globally, the U.S. remains the largest beef importer, and its increased demand has ripple effects. Argentine consumers saw domestic prices climb and supplies dwindle, while Chinese demand for South American beef further strained international markets. The result? a complex web of supply chain pressures, price volatility, and questions about food sovereignty. The policy sparked fierce debate within Washington. 8 House Republicans, led by Fedorchak, publicly opposed Trump's plan, exposing divisions within the GOP over agricultural priorities. The U.S. Cattlemen's Association sent a formal letter to the White House, warning that increased imports could threaten rural communities and national food security. "We're risking the livelihoods of 583,000 American beef producers," the letter stated, highlighting the interconnected nature of cattle-dependent industries, from leather and pet food to fertilizer manufacturing. Retailers and independent butchers faced mounting pressure to compete with large chains able to secure cheaper imports. Many small businesses struggled to maintain price competitiveness, accelerating industry consolidation and threatening local economies. Restaurants, especially steakhouses and burger chains, adjusted menus and portion sizes, with some touting 100% U.S. beef as a premium feature, while others quietly switched to imported products. Nutrition advocates and industry experts raised alarms about the safety and quality of imported beef, citing risks such as foot and mouth disease, present in South America but not in the U.S. Some consumers responded by seeking local, grass-fed, or organic options, while others reduced beef consumption for health or ethical reasons. The USDA and industry groups emphasized the importance of transparent labeling and disease prevention. Financial markets reacted swiftly, with beef futures dropping from record highs amid speculation about long-term price stability and further trade disruptions. Multinational meat packers and large retailers stood to benefit from cheaper imports, while independent ranchers and rural communities faced renewed uncertainty. Trump's decision to expand Argentine beef imports was intended as a quick fix for high consumer prices, but its effects have been far-reaching. The ongoing debate centers on how to build a resilient, transparent food system that balances affordability with support for domestic agriculture and food security. As policymakers weigh the stakes, the future of America's beef industry and the livelihoods of hundreds of thousands of workers hangs in the balance.
Once again, just making decisions on the fly without listening to people who have the knowledge to inform these decisions.
Yes.
And Trump was quoted as saying to U.S. ranchers when they complained to him, and this is his quote, "You'd be nowhere without me. Lower the price of your beef if you want to compete."
Yeah, see, this is one of those things, and this is happening all over the world in many, many contexts. But the idea that data is just numbers.
Right.
And that there aren't people attached to those numbers. Mm-hmm. Now, I would love to see the animal agriculture industry in this country and in the world just burned to the ground.
Toppled, yes.
Completely toppled.
For sure.
But at the same time, I recognize that for that to happen, the ranchers and farmers that are currently in that industry need time to transition to more sustainable and profitable options.
Sure, they can't just have the rug pulled out from under them.
It's not going to happen overnight.
Yeah.
And so for someone who was put into office by these people, by the ranchers, by
Majority
the farmers,
of them, I'm sure,
by, our Midwestern breadbasket workers.
Right.
To say you'd be nowhere without me, lower the price of your beef if you want to compete. It's just an indicator of how completely detached our lawmakers are from the reality of living in this country.
Yeah.
As someone who, makes a quote unquote normal wage.
Yeah. Yeah, they're completely out of touch.
As opposed to the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, if not billions of dollars that many of our lawmakers bring in.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this, like almost everything else, isn't just some kind of grift, because it made beef futures in our country plummet, which means he and all of his very wealthy friends could
buying up beef futures
while he talks about this, and then And then the second thing is that Argentina is struggling because of drought and other reasons to produce enough beef for their own country.
Right.
So how are we going to increase the imports from Argentina when they're getting a lot of their cow meat from Brazil?
Right.
So it all seems like a grift to me. And it could be a way to sneak in beef from countries that he's not disclosing. And like this article says, that opens up a huge
hornet's nest.
Yes, a huge can of worms as far as hoof and mouth, like this said, mad cow disease.
Yep.
It's a time bomb.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, there is quite a bit of potential for disaster here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So while I was glad to hear in this article that the amount of cattle that exist in our country actually has dropped, which you don't see figures like that usually. You know, it's usually we're producing more and more.
Yes.
We're creating more and more animals to be slaughtered. So that, I guess, is kind of heartening.
Also heartening to see that consumers are turning a bit more to plant-based proteins.
Yeah, that people are pivoting.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Love that. But at the same time, this is just one other way to exploit animals.
Yeah.
In just so many ways.
Yeah.
You know, treating them as commodities and using them to manipulate world markets is just insane.
Yeah, and I really think this is just some sort of grift and some sort of market manipulation.
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
And I know stuff like this really makes some of the senators and representatives in these states that are heavily farmed really nervous. Because these are their constituents.
Yes.
Right? And if they lose these votes, they're gone. You know?
Absolutely.
So, once again, our fearless leader.
Oh, stop. Don't even. Just no.
I mean, brainless. I think I meant brainless leader is, I don't know, setting up a grift. I don't know. It's always a grift.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Yeah. Let's move on now to our assignment restaurant, SOS.
This week, we are looking at Twisted Plants, located at 4905 South Packard Avenue in Cudahy, Wisconsin. Brandon and Ariel Hawthorne are the Milwaukee couple behind Twisted Plants. In 2016, Ariel was diagnosed with lymphoma and began to research the effect of food on health. From there, she adopted a vegetarian diet before going fully vegan. They wanted to spread their love of vegan comfort food to others, and Twisted Plants was born. In the spring of 2019, they launched the vegan/plant-based comfort food trailer, visiting various locations and events in the Milwaukee area. In the spring of 2020, they were delighted to move into their permanent brick-and-mortar location in Cudahy.
Yeah, yet another vegan restaurant that started during the COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. These people are really brave.
Yes, they are.
You want to take a look at their menu?
Of course I do.
You know you do.
And first thing up, burgers and sandwiches.
They said it. It's like, this is comfort food.
I love it. And see, the thing is I'm really pretty hungry right now. And so all of these are going to sound so ridiculously good. And the very first one, I'm there
up in
already.
Smoke. It's
Up
called
in
Up
Smoke,
in Smoke,
which is a grilled onions, a smoky plant-based bacon, twisted smokehouse sauce, barbecue sauce, lettuce, tomato, a plant-based patty, American cheese, pickles, and onion rings.
Sounds good.
I am so 100% there for that burger. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next burger on the menu is called the Super Bad. I love that.
Nice.
It's grilled onions, jalapenos, chipotle ranch, plant-based patty, pepper jack cheese.
That also sounds fantastic.
Good. Ooh, the Pineapple Express. I like grilled pineapple on a burger. That's really good.
I've never tried that combination.
It's good.
Okay. I'm going to take your word for it.
Take my word from it.
I will.
For it. Yeah. Take my word. Hey, they have one called the Big Lebowski.
Hey, that's for you.
Shredded jackfruit, mushrooms, bell peppers, onions, mayo, and provolone cheese. Chopped and screwed. The chopped and screwed is karate chopped patty, grilled onions, mayo, and cheese.
Now, they then have the Friday, which is, this is going to sound familiar. Grilled onions, pickles, ketchup, mustard, mayo, lettuce, tomato, plant-based patty, and American cheese. This is sounding quite a bit like a certain famous burger.
Like the large Mac?
Yes, that.
Yes.
Okay, and the next Friday is the same thing, just twice the plant-based patty and twice the cheese.
Nice.
Yes, that's great.
They have a patty milk called Grandma's Patty Milk.
Nice.
What else? Oh, and they have this whole section of build your own. So you can do all those things in any combination.
Oh, you gotta love that.
They have gluten-free buns if you're gluten-free. They do have some salads. They have a crispy chicken salad.
In fact, that's the only salad.
Yep.
Just the crispy chicken salad. That is the one salad.
And they have some really delicious sounding starters in their appetizer menu.
I'm there for the cauliflower bites, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100% there for the
chicken nuggets,
bites.
mozzarella sticks, Dazed and Confused, which is like a sampler of drumsticks, 4-piece drummies, barbecue, hot, sweet, chili, lemon, pepper, dry seasoned, and served with vegan ranch dressing.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then there's the munchie platter, which feeds 2 to 4 people. So you get 4 sliders. So you get smaller versions of the Friday burger, the How High burger, the Still Smokin' burger, and the Super Bad. You get 4 drummies, 4 nuggets, 4 mozzarella sticks, fries and tots, and 8 cauliflower bites.
Yeah. So this is a great sounding menu.
Yeah, it really is.
You know, it's
like a lot of fun.
A nice burger joint. You can't go wrong.
And plenty of drinks and desserts too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just shakes and chocolate cake and carrot cake and cookie bars and cookies. Like, yeah, so great.
And not like Manhattan carrot cake. It is not super small and intensely overpriced.
No, it's not. It is definitely not. Yeah.
So hey, yeah, this, Twisted Plants, they got it going on.
Yes, they
do.
So
if you have been to Twisted Plants in Cudahy, Wisconsin, send us a picture of your meal and let us know what you got and what you thought of it, and we'll enter you into our vegan dinner winner contest. It's time for our favorite portion of the show.
Must be listener shout out time.
It's listener shout out.
Just want to give a shout out to all my fans watching. I love you guys. I love you.
This week's shout out goes to Katie Pfeiffer. Katie responded to our Humane Halloween cookbook giveaway. Thanks for listening, Katie.
Yes, so many of you responded, and thanks for reaching out. I hope you're enjoying your Humane Halloween cookbooks. But Katie, please send us your t-shirt size and address so we can send you a Compassion and Cucumbers swag bag. You can text us using the link in our show notes. You can email us at compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com or simply DM us on Instagram or Facebook.
And for the rest of you out there, if you want a listener shout out, text, email, or DM us. Let us know what you think of the show and tell us a little bit about yourself. You can also always nominate someone else for a shout out.
Yeah, that's always fun. I guess it's time to wrap this baby up. But before we go, don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast app and subscribe to our YouTube. Share the show with a friend or a family member that you think would enjoy what we do so we can reach more great people just like you. Also, be sure to like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for updates about the show, pics of all the vegan food we find, and lots of other stuff. You want to get news about the show? Do that by subscribing to our weekly newsletter at our website, which is compassionandcucumbers.com.
And with that, it's time to sign off. You have just listened to episode 206 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, and there's nothing left to say but where cukes and compassion are always the fashion on the podcast.
Thanks, James.
Have a great week, everyone.
We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
We love you.
We really do. Bye-bye.
The end.
If you'd like to support the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, well, you can do that by hopping on over to our Patreon page and becoming a patron. We have all the recipes from our vegan kitchen series up there, and we'll be adding some patron-only episodes in the near future. So thank you for supporting us at whatever level that you choose, and thank you again for listening to Compassion and Cucumbers podcast.